Hi and welcome to another video for year 7 maths. So here you are still in the topic of ratio, but right now we are going to focus on ratio of three quantities. So let's proceed to the example. Right, this is starter. All right. Okay. Like previously, you have a ratio of two quantities, but it can also be used to compare more than two quantities. And for your information, a ratio involving three or more quantities, you cannot write them as fractions. So let's start in example 1. Now in example 1, write each of the ratios of the following quantities in its simplest form. Now here you have part A, 9, 6, and 15. So what are you going to do is to use whatever you have here, just write it down, 6 and 15. Now here, since you can transform into a fraction, what we're going to use is to use the method of HCF, because here you have to find out a quantity that can divide the three here, 9, 6, and 15. So it's obviously they are the multiples of 3. So do you have, after that is 9 divided by 3 is 3, and then 6 divided by 3 is 2, and 15 divided by 3 is 5. Therefore, you cannot go further than this. So there you have it. Your answer will be a 3, 2 to 5. Right, let's proceed to the second one, which is a part B, 32, 40, 24, and also you apply HC over here, and here you can see that these are 32, 40, and 24 are the multiples of 8. So you divide everything by 8. So 32 divided by 8, you get 4, and 40 divided by 8, you get 5, and 24 divided by 8, you can get a 8 times 3. All right, now there you have it. Your answer will be 4 is to 5 is to 3. Right, now let's move on to the next one here. This is where you have two ratios of two quantities, two term ratios, but here you can combine them to form a ratio of three quantities. If let's say A to B and B to C are given, then we can find the ratio ABC using the following steps. Now here, the first one, you have to identify the term common to the two ratio, and the second one, you convert the ratio so that the common term has the same number. Now you can see here, okay, let's start with one example over here. If xy is 5 to 9 and x to z is 3 to 4, what is x to y to z? Now here, what I'm going to do, the first one is to write down x, y, z, right? Here, when we have x, y, and z, what you are going to do is to put in the quantities that you have. Let's say for x, y, you have 5 is to 9, right? So that's the first ratio that you have. And the second ratio that you have is x to z. So what I'm going to do is to give a little bit space, 3 to 4, right? You write this down here because 3 is x and 4 is z. Now, what is x, y, and z? And the first thing you have to do is to identify which term is the common one. Is it x, is it y, is it z? So you can see here, it is x. Now, what you are going to do after that is to see, to look at the numbers 5 and 3. Now, what I'm going to do is to make them common. I mean, to make them the same number here. What I'm going to use is we use LCM. Okay, you use LCM of 5 and 3. Now here, divide by 5, and then you divide by 3. So 5 times 3, your LCM will be 15, right? Now what we're going to do next is that to convert the ratio into equivalent ratio, but you have to make x the same. So what I'm going to do is I will do this, right? So you multiply it with 5 times 3 will be 15, and 3 times 5 will be 15 also. But then when you convert one quantitative ratio, 9 over here, you also have to multiply with the same number, multiply with 3. And also here, 3 times 5, 4 is also multiplied with 5. And you will have another equivalent ratio here, 15 to 27. And for the second one, 15 is to 20, right? Now here you can see that for both ratios, x already have the same quantity, the same number, 15. So this means that you can combine both ratios now in the form of x, y, z. Therefore, x is to y is to z is given by, what's your x over here? 15. And for y and z, you can write down the equivalent ratio. We see here 27 and 20. Right, so this is how you combine two ratios of two quantities into a ratio with three quantities, right? Now, let's proceed to the next one here. Now, example 3. A bar of chocolate weighs 450 grams. The bar has 3 sections with different flavors: cream, peanut, and almond, in the ratio 2:3:4. Now, what we're going to do next is to find the mass in grams of the first one, A, the cream section, and you have to find the mass for part B, the almond section, the bar. So what you are going to do after this is that to understand the ratio over here, what you are given here is that you are given 2:3:4, and as you can see, 2 is for cream. Okay, let's label C, and the 3 will be peanut, P, and the 4 parts will be almond. So what we're going to do next is that you can see that here I have provided you with a bar. You can use bar model diagram to illustrate 2:3:4. Now, we're going to do afterward is that to split them into, what's the total ratio over here? 2:3:4 added together will give you 9, right? So you have to divide the bar model into 9 parts or 9 pieces. So I'm going to draw. Okay, so this is the first one, second one, third one, fourth one, fifth, sixth, 7, 8, and 9. Now, after this, you have to label them all with the corresponding number of parts. Here, cream has 2, so cream will be 2, and then the peanut will be 3, and the almond will be 4, right? Next is, you know that a bar of chocolate, here, this whole bar is a bar of chocolate, right? And overall, it weighs 450. So you write down here is that you have 450 grams. And you know that this is divided into equal parts, equal of 9 pieces. So 9 pieces over here is 450. Now, you can find one piece easily by dividing this by 9. So you have 450 divided by 9 will be 50 grams. Now here, you can conclude that every piece will be 50 grams. So I will just write 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, right? So you can see here, 50 times 9, 50 times 9 will be 450. Now, using this information, you can now find the mass of the question that you want. Here is the first one, the cream section. So for the cream section, therefore, cream mass of the cream section will be, how many parts are there for cream? 2. And you multiply with 50 grams. So you have 100 grams, right? And last but not least, you want to find the mass of the almond section. And almond section, in almond section, you have, how many parts are there? You have 4 parts. So 4 times 50 grams will be 200 grams. Right? Okay, that's it for all the examples that are possible here. I hope that you can, it will help you to understand the ratio and 3 quantities. Then that's it. Thank you very much and see you again.